Alright. Here we go with Sentry build. Very powerful build for starter and for making into a main build for yourself. Here's hirohina. He also streams and whatnot, so he just hasn't made a build video yet, so I told him, hey, I'm going to look over your character and make one for you. So I also play Sentry as well, just Hero's completely maxed out. If you see his damage, 182 million for Sentry. This is some high damage for Sentries. 7,300 hit points. Let's see his defenses. Yeah, pretty much maxed out on everything. Armor's a little low. Well, hybrid armor dodge is fine. Let's go over the skill tree here. So you'll see when you're using sentries, you're dropping your electric sentry down. You're switching your sentry expert to either boss or for doing more damage against moving enemies. And then you're going to use your skill. Which rune does he use for this? There we go. Marksman. As soon as you use Marksman, attack totem drops, weaken element drops, and this is a huge combo, massive amounts of damage. And all he has to do is just press one button. Then you start channeling your enchanted sentry, and that amps the attack speed of your electric sentry, and your damage goes through the roof. So we'll go over what you got here. So, enchanted sentry, it's got the damage reduction going on here. Enhanced effect for it. Tenacious regeneration for living. Once again, Marksman goes into weaken element totem. Looks like he's done source. Upon destroying the totem, you get a huge buff. Skill rune duration. It's pretty cool. Then some tanky stuff here. So, Seal of Striking is really powerful. If you awaken this, just like for the minions, get your origin in here, you do get the dampening, but you get an aura range, and then your minions or your sentries can now use the benefit. Looks like he's using Shadow Provocation. I'm pretty sure this is more for the armor amplification than anything. I haven't actually asked him about this yet. And then we got Electric Sentry going on here. Here's a good setup for you. Precise Sentry. Got your Mana Storm, Strike. Let's see what he's doing for Strike. Yep. Attack Speed Amplification. Very nice. Element Damage Amplification. He went with the Origin. And Multi-Sentry. He went with the +1 to max Sentry summon count. And the Sentry damage dampening. So you get a little bit of damage dampening with this, but you're getting all 5 sentries. And that must be because he's not using his max sentry bow. He is using his max sentry bow. Alright. So that's the skills, guys. Pretty much you're just throwing electric sentry down once again. Everything else is to buff your sentries and to live. And you just throw down Marksman and then Channel. Here's the skill tree. It's a crit build, so he's going to be going as much hit and crit as possible. Probably specking out of everything else it's not. Yeah, pretty typical right here. This is what I do too for my minions. Mana recovery. Must really need some mana. That does make sense. You do have to summon the sentries more than you do minions, so it starts to become mana intensive. Crit rate. Crit rate again. Got ourselves some minion damage with some crit rate, or sentry with some sentry crit again. Which let's go back to him. So which seems to be the best. I mean, you're pretty much going for just a pure crit build when you're doing a crit build. You're never really specking in anything else. Let's see what they did here. Some chaos resist, of course. What do we have down here? HP amplification. Mana cost dampening. And then the crit once again. I'm sure that's what it's going to be over here as well. Yep, ×2 damage in the crit. Very nice. So let's go take a look at his specialization here. Uplift. Amplification. And this is after beating challenge mode. So this is a raid build. When you're first doing your Sentry build, you will be going most likely into aim or whatnot, or into sharpness, or yeah, into aim. But once you get as powerful as Hero is here, he's definitely gone into the HP. He wants a little bit more. Attack Tactics is very powerful. He's gone into the sharpness for Sentry and decided to go into Modify. Now, this is high end. You need to have a high level quiver for this. And don't ever forget that the enhanced skill rune speed for 50%, this is very powerful still too. So you'll do this first, and then once you become strong enough, you'll transition into this kind of build, and you might even take off Attack Tactics because you can get this on a fire quiver. The reason why he has this build will become apparent here in just a moment. And then you have this right here, Dex, Intelligence, and Strength. These are split because of abilities, needing to use the skills. All right, once again, if you're not going to use the bow, that gives you attack enhanced rune, and you're going to use something like Plate of Addendum, which is very powerful, you're going to have to decide to spec into the attack Sentry in your tree, and that's what he's done. That's what we were just looking over. So let's go over the gearing real quick. Big difference I see here compared to what you're going to be doing a lot with the minions is he's gone for some Sentry uplift effect. We do not get uplift effect on our minions, so this is a big difference. And he's gone full in for Sentry crit and crit damage, which makes a lot of sense. Now, these are powerful rings. If you don't use the fire ones, there's always the I believe it's the water rings. The water rings give you the Sentry damage amp. So you got a couple different options there. Belts are pretty simple. They're usually just for defenses. Damage amp and Sentry crit damage. These are the two big things here. Along with the boots. He's gone with the attack enhanced skill rune, tier 11. And he's got a tier 11 movement speed. This is a very powerful pair of boots. Same with the gloves. Gloves do a lot of damage for your sentries. He's got the attack speed, damage amplification, crit rate, and crit damage. The only thing he could really do here is he could decide to not re-roll the Sentry crit rate and re-roll the Sentry attack speed if he had enough, and that would give you a higher crit rate. That's about all he could do there. Legendary, too bad it got the +2 bow skill. I do not think that affects his sentries, but everything else on here is very powerful. Got your shoulders, Sentry damage and Sentry damage. And then your bow. So you got two options on your bow. You're either going to go the max Sentry summon count bow, or you're going to spec with what he's got here with the multi-sentry, and you're going to go more damage with the bow. So you got two options. Other than that, pretty much the basic setup. You're doing damage pen, crit damage, crit rate, amplification, and speed. Charms. Looks like we have a multi-charm again. We got a Spic Castors. Very nice. And these are just mainly for your resist. As you see, he's going Sentry damage. Sentry damage and attack speed on pretty much everything. Oh wow, these are very powerful charms. Nice. They're There we go. Nice little Sentry build for you guys. And once again, one of the strongest Sentry builds I've seen. Almost 200 million DPS. He's quite tanky as well.